I ain't done this shit in so long. How do I get to my YouTube link? Let me think. How do I do it? Broadcast info. There you go. View on YouTube. There we go. All right. Okay. Let me go take that. Okay. Let's go feedback. Gotta make sure I don't do that. It's been a while since I did a live feed from StreamYard. Go my Facebook account. Let's see, go over here. Okay, I'm back in the New York groove. I got it all figured out again. Okay, like I ain't forgot this shit. There we go. Wrong group. I can't post that in a group. I'm like, well, fuck this nigga. Anyway, so back over at the ranch. Let me hit X on that. My chat room up here. Let me see, 2 people on deck. What's good? What's good? What's good? Honest and I be great with the gift of intelligence, everlasting, professional account currency, and numerous options. It is me, Huggie Pacino. Welcome to another live. I ain't gonna take too long with this. That was a panel I saw on Vice. Shout out to Sylvia Watson. I hope I said Sylvia. Is her name Sylvia? Sylvia Watson. Shout out to her. Shout out to Carol Davis. They held down the panel with a group of weirdos. What's up, Raider fans, sir? How you doing? Who y'all play this week? Who y'all play this week, Mark? Let me know. Who y'all play this week? I'm curious to know who y'all play this week. I'm sure y'all a wild card team, right? Y'all a wild card team. Y'all didn't make it. Y'all play the Chargers. Let me stop. Anyway, so I was watching this panel on Vice. Very, very interesting panel, but it was a bunch of weirdos. And I must say, I'm gonna try my best to hope that this video stay up. I don't know if they're gonna give me copyright infringement. I can't play the video. I'm gonna just play the IO. But I must say there was about at least 10, maybe 8 to 10 people on the panel. 2 of them were clearly anti-feminists. And there's a black chick, then there's I want to say she's probably an Arab or Indian chick that's supposed to be, quote unquote, a part used to be in part of the Islamic religion, if I must say. And then there's a couple of transformers, put it that way. Y'all know where I stand. If you don't know where I stand, I have no issues with homosexuality. I have no issues with lesbians. I have no issues with sexuality whatsoever. However, I do have a problem with gender identity. I know I'm in strike level when I say this. I have a problem with gender identity. I have a very big problem with that. I have a problem with women not being considered women and men not being considered men. And I think there are only 2 genders, and we're not negotiating. We're not debating this. I don't have this problem. I don't have this confusion, as they call it. I just think that as a male, you can be feminine, and as a woman, you can be masculine. That's up to you. It's in your DNA. If it's in your blood, it's just who you are. It's who you are. However, it seems like they're removing that idea, and they're now saying that if you're a quote unquote woman that is quote unquote masculine, you're a quote unquote transformer male. I gotta be careful because they're gonna get me. And the same thing with women who are quote unquote, or men who are quote unquote feminine. They consider you a transformer woman, so to speak. They have removed the idea of what feminine and masculine is at this point. They've already changed the definition of what a mom is, and they've already changed the definition of what a woman is. And I think that's an insult. So the more I think about it, is that there are more men who are considered feminists than the women who claim to be feminists themselves. because there are men who actually believe in women's rights. And I think the first right would be the right to exist as women. So what I want to get into is this panel, and I want to play a little bit of it, or maybe I'll go over. It's only 40 minutes, but yeah, we know that. Go down to Texas anyway. And Tennessee too. So where's the panel here? I got so much in my history. It fell backwards. Where'd it go? I'm sorry. Correction. Her name is Sydney Watson. Correction on the name. Here goes the panel.
It's just at a lower rate.
We started
today to talk about some of the biggest issues dividing women across the country. In other words, we're here to talk about feminism. First, I just want to say we know we can't represent everybody's views. But
and for the record, it is a total of 9 of them. If I mention something that they're talking about, I'm going to be clear about who's speaking and who's not speaking. But anyway, let's go. Clearly, you have Sydney over here to your left, and there's a disabled white chick below her. Forgive me for not knowing their names. Then there's the transformer. Then there's the black chick. Then there's Pearl. Next to the disabled white chick is the black chick. And then there's the Indian chick. And then there's the other transformer in the corner. And I want to say this girl is probably just biracial. She's pretty as hell, but you know, just because you're pretty don't mean you ain't stupid as fuck. But let's go.
Did try our best to bring together a diverse group of women today. In today's polarized world, is feminism dead? Yeah, I saw your hand. I think that depends on the definition of feminism.
Well, I would love to play the video, Mark. Can't play the video. If you want the video, go to Vice and just type in anti. Matter of fact, if you just go to Vice, the video will be probably the most popular thing. It's like trending right now. Anti-pro-feminist debate, abortion, transformer rights, and hashtag me too. You'll see it up there. But I can't play the video because of copyright, consent. I can't do that. But I'm trying to see if I can get away with the audio. We might get flagged, but let's see what happens.
Strongly think that feminism is more of an action than
now the person speaking right there is Eli, which is an actual transformer, so to speak. It's a transformer male, I believe. I forgot. I don't know. It's more like mixture between masculine and feminine. I don't fuck the thing is called. I don't know.
I would say it's uplifting all women, in which case it's very alive.
I want to say Sydney is fine as shit. She's from Australia. And I want to say Pearl is cute too. I like Pearl. Pearl is like the tall I used to date one of them tall volleyball girls. You know what I'm saying? So I dated a girl like Pearl before. Anyway.
Time, if you do follow that definition, feminism has splintered off into so many different areas. You can look at people like Sheryl Sandberg who say you should just get another nanny if you feel oppressed. And if we're talking about that kind of feminism, yeah, it's pretty dead. Yeah, I mean, as long as the human race exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're always going to have to strive for.
That's Antonia. Ironically, Antonia, that name just haunts us in this community. Antonia from Texas. This is she's a pretty she's an attractive natural black chick. I don't like this red. You didn't find it like cute. Stop it, Shadow. Hell no. Eli kind of remind me of Ellen. Ironically, their names sound similar. But anyway.
To make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead. I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people.
Now this is Mindy. This is the one that is disabled. She has, I think she's an amputee. She's in a wheelchair. But keep that in mind. She is disabled. You can't use disabled to support your feminist identity or your feminist agenda. Let's make that clear.
Fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive as well.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us.
Now that's Pearl. That's the one that everybody's familiar with. If you've been on YouTube, you've seen Pearl Davis, just Pearly Things. That is my future, ex-wife, so to speak. But we ain't got there yet. Let's continue.
I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's
now, I must say, if you watched this before, if you haven't seen it, when she said that, the disabled heavyset white chick, the feminist that's in a wheelchair, the heavyset white chick gave her a slight smirk like, oh no, this bitch didn't. That's the look she gave her. So they made it clear to point that out.
Well, sadly. I think feminism is also alive and well. There are different kinds of feminism.
That's Amaris. I think she's beautiful. She lives in Jersey. I like her hair. I don't know if it's really her hair, but I love it. I just want to put that out there. Amaris, holla at your boy. Let's continue.
Right, like that is obvious. And for me, as a womanist, as a Black feminist, right, as someone who's really thinking about human rights, dignity, right, equity, right, as long as that need isn't met, we're still gonna keep fighting.
I think it's alive and well. I'd say that it's also very nuanced, and I think what it looks like is going to differ depending on where you are in the world. For me, I just see it as a lens.
Now that's the trans.
Isn't necessarily antagonistic.
Now that's the trans, by the way, which I find strange that I want to say probably dressing just as fucking as feminine as them. The unreleased, unedited version is 4 hours. Oh, it's 4 hours long? How do I get that? I gotta pay for it? I'll pay for that shit. I don't care. I want to get all of that. And I want to be able to go through that one day because I don't have time to do it at home. But I want to go over all of that if it's 4 hours long. Are you just joking? You serious?
Protagonistic. It's just a useful tool.
Similar to what Pearl just said, I find that a lot of
That's my girl Sydney right there. That's the future. That's the future wife that I'll never leave. Never.
Feminist ideology and thought today feels more like a supremacist movement rather than something that's supposed to be advancing the goals of equality.
I'm glad she said supremacist movement because it basically is just that.
Think that we can really term what's going on as feminism because it looks so different to, I think, the earlier feminist movements. So in that way,
she has a point. The earlier feminist movements were different than this.
I'd say it's taken its last breath.
It is taking its last breath.
Yeah, I definitely think it's getting more and more radicalized for sure. So it's definitely still alive.
This is Layla. That's the black chick, light-skinned black chick.
Much about modern Western feminism, and there might be a lot of terms that I don't know. Like
now, keep in mind, this is the chick that's supposed to be a former Muslim or used to be involved with the Islamic religion. So, as she just said, she's not even familiar with Western, feminism. She's not even familiar with it. So check it out. Oh shit, I hit the wrong button. That's one thing I hate about this shit. Because you can hit the wrong button and just fuck up everything. As I go back over here. Let's start back where I left off.
That don't have I'm not gonna
come on right here.
Sectional feminism exclude impact.
Yeah, see, I just
go back here.
Women have been dying for their rights. I think as a Black woman specifically, when you talk about feminism, the mainstream first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to exclude still, even today, even with intersectional feminism, exclude African American women. And it's always kind of done that. And also like upper middle class white women.
Now see how she just lied and said that feminism has exclude Black women? No, this is not the 60s and the 70s no more where you were excluded. You have been included to the point where there's been 60 years of the development of you being very fairly handed feminism on a platter. Just take a look around you. Only thing that's problematic about it is that children have suffered, children have grown, and they went from 43% in the 80s to almost 80% single mother homes. And I want to say 50 to 60% of those children have more than one of those 60% of those women have more than two with no father. So basically the stats have grown because you have benefited from all the luxuries of feminism. 100%.
Not only been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism. I think feminism is attempting to say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman.
Now, this is the chick that's fucked up the whole discussion when she mentioned barriers. This woman is not just because she's overweight, but she's disabled. All right. She's in a wheelchair and she's disabled. It has nothing to do with feminism whatsoever. There are women and men alike who are disabled. And the disability is not an excuse to say that you suffer from lack of feminism or feminist rights. But when she mentioned barriers, check this out.
What it ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a black woman and being a black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further. You have more barriers, you have more friction, you are less able to get what you want. You're undervalued in a way that's like, okay, well, you know, that's like, that's what I mean by equity, and that we're able to, without friction, all get the same needs met.
Yeah. See, I disagree with that. I think life is easier for a girl. Actually, I think there's a lot of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a point over here, though, it means there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted. And so
they call me ugly on the internet all the time. They roast me daily. I swear to God.
I don't mean to say I think you're gorge. I just mean that there's a certain value that we give to certain bodies.
I mean, let's also dig into why these quotas exist and why these, what you're calling
because we want special treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in those jobs been fewer women. And because of sexism.
How is it sexism?
Now, I hate when they use the word sexism, but I love how Pearl just really could she handles this shit, and Sylvia, Sydney does the same thing. I keep saying Sylvia for some reason.
When we have no barriers today, so we can
have no barriers.
We have no. You can do whatever you want.
I can or you can.
What's stopping you?
Now, notice that the woman said, well, I can or you can. And Pearl was just asking her, what's stopping you? She made it personal. And that is the problem when you're talking to women. In most cases, there's an emotional response or there is an emotional question. This had nothing to do with a personal situation. She's speaking about the gender as a whole. In general, what is stopping women from doing what they want? Nothing. The only thing that's stopping this woman is a disability. That's it. But that's your personal problem. Has nothing to do with feminism. I dated a girl who was disabled, and a lot of things that weren't going right end up start going, going right. But she wasn't, she was a little fucked up too. You know what I'm saying? So it's starting to make sense that you're probably going through what you're going through because of who you are. It got nothing to do with feminism. It had nothing to do with you being a woman, and she never said that for the record. But this woman right here, disabled, saying that, oh, this is a barrier. No, this is just your personal barrier. Just like this black woman can say what she's saying, which is a myth. There's no such thing as black women suffering in feminism. You reap the benefits from that. And the same thing with this other chick over here, that quote unquote transformer, you reaping more benefits than both of them. The disabled woman and the black one. So you reap the benefits for everyone. You're probably front of the line now because they put them there. They put you in the front. And that's the problem with women now. This is what I got a problem with them, because you put them in the front. Cortez, what up? You put them in the front and you let them represent you because you need anyone to represent you. So you don't give a damn if it's a purple fucking lion. Hey, are you a woman? Yeah, come on. You can represent us. This purple lion is now a woman. Put her in the alphabet. They don't give a fuck what let's just come on. Just support us. We need more numbers. And now we got a panel of women who can't even see eye to eye, which is, like you said, bro, it's a scale. 100%. It's a fucking scale. You put that up there. I ain't done this in a while. How do I put this up here? How do I put this on the thingamajig? There we go. Let me keep that up there.
So there's a lot stopping me.
Now keep it what you say. I'm. This is not a personal discussion. We're talking about gender. She clearly said gender. She didn't say you. She just basically was like, when she was talking to you, it was general.
To think about.
As I said before, speaking about women.
You're speaking for yourself. You're speaking as an able-bodied woman.
Now, notice how they backed this dumb bitch up. They backed her up. Oh, you're speaking about you. No, you're speaking about you. You're speaking about your disability. And everybody bagged you up for being stupid because you're not even talking about the gender. You're talking about yourself. Pearl didn't come from a personal aspect. You gave her the title of being a pretty privileged chick, which that doesn't really exist either. Pretty privilege does not exist anymore. Being that I'm a male who is out here just observing women, there are ugly fat chicks who are now leaving you on read. Pretty privilege is out the door. It doesn't make any sense anymore. It is a myth now. There used to be a thing. Cortez, you old as me. Bro, once upon a time when there was no social media, these ugly chicks had to come outside. They had to come outside. Now, ugly chicks can be on Tinder, POF, Facebook, IG, and they can ignore you. There could be I got so many videos that I just literally just record shit and just don't upload it. Cause I said, man, that ain't gonna stay up. I can't put that on YouTube. But there are chicks who don't have to be attractive. As long as they have breasts, as long as they have ass, and show enough of their body, they could go on OnlyFans right now. You can be the ugliest chick. You could be 400 pounds, 5'2". You can go on OnlyFans right now and get rich. All you gotta do is you ain't even gotta have sex with nobody. Just go on OnlyFans right now. Go get you a dildo, go get you a vibrator, go get you whatever, jackrabbit, do whatever you gotta do, and just get the camera and just do what the fuck you want. And you'll get paid. You will get paid. Pretty privilege doesn't exist no more. It's out the door. So I don't know where that came from. But that's what she threw at Pearl. Pretty privilege. I mean, the chick is not attractive herself, even as a disabled chick, but I'm saying though, she's an overweight chick, but she's in a wheelchair. She's disabled. This is a personal issue. They ain't got shit to do with no feminism. But anywho, let's continue.
I understand. Of course, there's going to be other areas if you're disabled. I'm sure. Like I'm talking about as a woman.
So you're just going to ignore
White women have it easier. Yes, I would agree.
What?
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
And here comes the transform. Keep talking about the pay gap. What up, Frisdos? And then you know what, Cortez? Check this out. You'll see the big chicks. I'm gonna tell you something. Tell me if I'm wrong, bro. If you see the big chicks that are like quote unquote models, or it'd be like them little chicks that be saying they like going through mental health and self-love, but then they got their titties all out, and 90% of their pictures are half naked, and then they do have men. That's one thing that you can always point out the fact, no matter what they do, they got a man. That's one thing I noticed about those chicks. No matter what I may say, most of them aren't single. They have a man. That's one thing you can always guarantee, especially the white ones. Let's just go there. The white ones, you clearly can see, like, those chicks have husbands and boyfriends. They'll show their boyfriend, and it'd be like New Year's, me and my husband, and we love each other. And it's like 100 photos before that. Half naked photos. Go to my Cash App. Go to my PayPal. Go to my OnlyFans account. But they got a man. I know a chick right now got an OnlyFans account. Her boyfriend, big as me. Pause. He's not, quote unquote, let me just say, quote unquote, he's completely not satisfying in bed. Let me just say that. Pause. All right? So I know, for example, I'll give you an example. I know goddamn well I can feel this void. We can just kick him out the way. We can kick him out the way. I can take that place immediately. I'm pretty sure I can do that. Because if you were making enough money, I hope she don't see this. Most likely she won't. But if you're making enough money, number one, if you were the breadwinner in a relationship, she wouldn't be on OnlyFans to begin with. That's why I know he ain't making no money like that. Oops. But she loves him enough to just have him the only one in the videos. Don't ask me how I know. These motherfucking girls be popular as shit. Reddit has saved me some money. I ain't got to pay for this shit. But anywho, I just want to point that out. These women have boyfriends and husbands, no matter what they do. In most cases, like I said, pretty privilege don't exist. Yeah, 2 girls in school, wheelchair, healthy boyfriends. And you know what I find disturbing, Cortez, is most of these women get boyfriends that probably wouldn't even look their way, probably wouldn't give a fuck about them the way that a man would. They get the best man to just do all the extra shit, help them with their disability, whether it be financially, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that. And they still don't appreciate that shit. That's the disturbing part about it. Like, yo, you rather just suffer alone. And then when you do get a dude, he the type of motherfucker that'll see you try to go up the stairs and need help, and he'll just watch you and be like, "Hurry up, bitch." That's the type of woman that's the type of man they want. Talk to him any kind of way, treat him like shit. You be nice to them, they step all over you. That shit backwards as fuck to me. I'm just speaking from a personal perspective. But anywho.
Women don't want to do the hardest things.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's an oversimplification. I think the fact of the matter is that women structure their lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism, and then also
now keep in mind, the transformer is the one that keeps saying the word sexism. Keep in mind, this is a transformer saying that the reason women can't get the jobs they want is because of sexism. Cortez, you and I both know, bro. Aren't these women taking up all the government jobs in every major city in America? Am I making that up? Aren't they the one that's probably don't even have to work hard to even get a certain job? They don't have to be qualified to get the job that they need. The job that they want, they don't have to be qualified. Typically, being a female, you get whatever job in most cases that you want. We don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that shit. And why are you talking about sexism? You don't even know what the fuck you are. Offer jobs. And in most cases, let's just call it what it is. Some of them probably sleep their way to the top. They ain't gonna tell you that. It's not gonna be mentioned in this whole dialogue. Most women have to sleep to get their positions. They ain't gonna say that shit. It happens though. But anyway.
I mean, we're talking a flavor, all statistics that we speak.
Trying to get her a job. She probably don't even need it, do she?
It still is a pay gap, particularly when it pertains to raise.
Because 60% of women have never asked for a raise. So how can you complain about your pay? Why don't
Wait,
what happens when women ask for a raise? Sorry, sure. I've been wanting to say something, but I want to be respectful. I don't want to interrupt people, and I want to let them finish their thoughts. Jump in, it is a very privileged label, right, to be able to say that you're feminist, right? And I say that because I come from a working class background of Dominican.
What up, Comfort Joe?
My mother would not necessarily identify as a feminist. I look to my mother and I do think of her as a feminist. A lot of my ideas and my empowerment comes from seeing her survive and put food on the table. When I'm thinking about feminism,
and I love you, baby, but you're a disgrace to your mother because you got a quote unquote transformer sitting to your left, and you proud to be a feminist, and she's not. And you have yet to check that quote unquote man sitting over there who claims to be you. Oops. What a fake this is. You see how fake this is? I would not sit in a room with a dude claiming to be a woman, and you're a part of my discussion. Like, hold up. No, you're not. No, not on my watch. No. You want to be one, you could be one, but don't actually argue one. I'll be like, no, you're not. Why can't I be a? You're not.
And I'm always thinking about who's not part of the conversation. What are the barriers? How do we think about
The irony. She said, "Who's not a part of this conversation?" I rest my case.
empowerment and agency and having a voice, right, and having choice, and thinking about our basic human rights, education, access to health, homes, like having bread, having food, and those things are very important, right? And they're at the crux, right, about of what a lot of us here know that we need. It's like there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore that are very much systemic and microaggressive, right? We see them and experience them every day in the U.S. So, what would you like to know an example of? So
I know you said that there is like barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman of color, let's be specific.
As a woman,
and there she go. Let's separate myself from what y'all talking about. Because we had a chick over here that just said she was disabled. We had a chick over here that said she was black. So now this chick said, well, are you saying the bear? Like basically, she's also this. Now keep in mind, there's two black chicks on. Well, there's three black chicks. Just one chick, just light skinned with a big ass wig on, but she's black too. But there's three black chicks. One of them in the front is considered black women as being black as a barrier. The one that's talking now, she's the one that just asks Pearl, well, what are you talking about? Are you talking about a black woman? So here we go. They actually sit here and tell people that being a black woman is a barrier as a feminist.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman. That's just not a question, right? Kind of hostile when you're like,
There you go. Now let's throw the insult. It's kind of hostile. And that's from the disabled chick. Like, bitch, we're not even talking about you right now. You are disqualified. You have yet to answer the question. You can just sit over there. Now let's talk to the black woman. Now the black woman can't give an answer either. Now watch this shit.
there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction, and that's showing. And I feel like I think as an American, you're very privileged. Like, I'm not ignoring that. Like a basic level of what.
Now, once you said I'm not ignoring that, the conversation is over for you. Don't ever speak again if you can't give us the reason of what these barriers are. What are these barriers that's stopping you as a woman in America? The question was, women, what is stopping you in America? And trust and believe, if you did your research and really looked around this world, America is probably the most freest place for a woman. Take your ass to Saudi Arabia and tell us what you think. Go there. Go to South America. Go to South Africa. Tell me what you think in Johannesburg when you go over there. Tell me what you think about them.
The feminist movement is when it comes to just being born a woman, right? Physically, pound for pound, we are born as women and we have less lean muscle mass than men. So there are issues of violence and assault and stuff like that. And so therefore, there are policies, there are things to help women physically, like, for example, I believe being able to carry a firearm and being able to use that safely to defend yourself against men who are born naturally with more muscle mass than a woman.
Keep in mind, this woman just mentioned the right to carry a firearm to defend herself from men, which is right, but why is it only stated to defend yourself from men? Cortez, last time I checked, don't a woman need protection from everyone, being that she is the most delicate creature in the world? Like, so what? Ain't no woman gonna run up and fuck you up? Last time I checked, bro, Cortez, bro, check. Last time I checked, ain't there thousands of videos all over the internet with women whooping each other's ass, getting ran over by cars, getting hit with hammers, hit with buses and all type of shit, planks and bats and brawls in the projects. So the only thing that she mentioned about defending herself with a firearm is against a man who, quote unquote, is, physically stronger than a woman. She didn't say anything about defending herself in general, just against a man. Because the only thing she's worried about is defending herself against men. Now that's the black chick, the second black chick that's in the front. Keep that in mind.
When you're in an environment, space brings this together. than a woman.
I keep hearing the term equity. What would a world that has equity look like? Like, would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be like prison, 50%, 50%? So what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been arguing for equality. But what does
Now I want to point something out here. That's the transformer talking again. The transformer is basically the spokesperson for a bunch of dumb bitches on the panel. And we're just keeping it transparent here. The transformer is the spokesperson for these dumb bitches. These bitches cannot answer the questions to an actual female that's on the panel that's actually tongue-tied, actually asking a logical question. What is the barriers? What is stopping you? What is the problem with privilege as a woman? And every time they can't answer it, here come the transformer to save them, and that person or thing can't.
give us like 0.5 of the 1% being woman. This doesn't really do anything for us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just for women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Those barriers that you don't believe.
We are still waiting for the fucking answer to the barrier. What's stopping women? We're still waiting for the answer. I just want to point that out. We still haven't got the answer. Now, I want to point something out here. There's a woman here asking a legitimate question that she can't get an answer from. Can't get an answer from these people. Now, this is what it's like when men are talking to you. There's a woman here, and what they're doing is they're being a little more delicate. Because trust me, if it was a man on the panel, they would have said, "You're sexist. You're a chauvinist. You're misogynist. Misogyny." You know, they would say all that. They can't say that because there's a female up there, and they have to be somewhat quote unquote fair. Like, you can't throw heavy insults. She threw a light insult. You're pretty privileged, and between me and you, we're different. Because I'm disabled, you're not. You're an able body, all that shit. So you can be nice about it. That's what happens when there's men involved, and there's men talking to you, asking that same question. We get, you're weak, you're this and that, you're toxic masculinity, because a person just asks a simple question. But let's see what they come with.
You have a bunch of ramps in your life. It doesn't do shit. I need those ramps, right?
Can we stick to male versus female? That's my question. So I'm thinking male versus female.
But my feminism includes ability, excludes race.
Question is, you guys can talk. Women versus men. Like, what barriers you need removed? Because that's my statement. I'm not stating anything else. I'm stating women versus men.
It's very silly.
Like, so what barrier?
The person that just said it was silly is the spokesperson that can't even help them answer the question. It's silly, but can't nobody answer it. What is it? What is it? That's all she asks. Can't nobody answer it. Now, I knew when I watched this, I said, "Oh, this is gonna be golden. This is why I love Pearl. This is genius. This is easy work."
Question. I have a fair question. How is it a fair question at proving the point of why when people, especially Black women, other people who are anybody who's not white, why we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means, I'm just gonna say, it means that. Like, it means that you've already gone into a pinnacle of whatever you think your happiness needs or whatever your survivalist needs are, when there are people on lower end who are trying to survive, who are trying to get to a point of what should be normal, based on what other people have.
It sort of sounds like you're saying feminism is not always inclusive then.
Right.
And most of the time it's not inclusive. It more of the time than not.
Yes, it is.
So, and within the feminism space, again, there obviously the very basic is male versus female versus, but unfortunately we've only had
now the woman just basically said, well, yeah, it is based off men versus women. As soon as they cut right to the disabled chick face, like, oh my God, you know what she's doing? I'm gonna tell you, the woman that's disabled is using feminism as well as she should as a woman, because I don't blame them for doing it. But she's using her disability as a crutch, as a feminist. Like, this is my problem as a feminist, and I share a big problem because not only am I a feminist, I'm disabled. I think if you stop being a feminist, you probably get better in life. as a disabled woman and stop trying to be a feminist. Stop trying to use that title to excuse the fact that you're disabled, because everyone doesn't share that. And it's not a feminist problem. It's not a female problem that you're disabled. You're disabled because of whatever happened. Men don't do that shit. And I think every woman, to be fair, I don't think a lot of women that are disabled are using feminists or feminism as a way to excuse the fact that they're disabled. I think this particular woman is on the panel, and I think that's why they brought her here. They brought her here to be a fucking prop for the fucked up discussion, because they knew, well, it's going to be at least one or two chicks that's going to challenge this dumb motherfucker. They knew it. So she's the object. She's the joke. She's the butt of the joke right now, and she don't even know it.
One subset of women be the face and voice in the academics and research and everything to be able to say, well, that's the standard we need to be in, when there are other people who are still trying to get to some type of normalcy and just living.
What is the biggest issue then that feminism faces?
I think it's the mindset. Women taking like the agency, women taking initiative. I think it's mindset holding them back a lot, because if you want to be in a competitive world and compete, you have to have the right mindset. And I think a lot of people blame their lack of confidence or what society tells them for the reason they're not achieving what they need to achieve, when that's not the case. You have to have the mindset of achieving, because the men who built the world had the mindset of building it. So the women who want to engage and build that further, they need to have that same mindset.
Oops. Let me expound on that. The men who built society built the right for you to even have this voice, to even have this channel, to have that chair to sit in, to have that outfit you wear, to wear that weave on top of your head, to even speak, to even have the right to even call yourself a feminist. Men made it possible. Give us our goddamn credit, please. Don't make it seem like we built society and y'all breaking down walls. No, we moved the walls and let you walk through them, because nothing is possible without men. I mean, not a goddamn thing is possible without men. Hell, the ground you walk on, hell, we made it possible for you to even get in a car, get in a plane, get in a parachute, hang glide, whatever the fuck you had to do to get there, bike, bus, train, the industries that women don't want to get involved with, welding, things of that nature. But anywho, such a pay, sexism and pay gaps. Anyway.
I don't think we do. I think it's like assuming that we all want to be capitalist babies. I think that men are not well adjusted in this society, and women are not trying to re-embody what they have built for us.
Now, keep in mind, the chick that just said that's the chick that knows nothing about Western civilization. She's used to be a part of the Islamic religion. Who knows what sect, because she probably was part of the fucking radical version of it. Who knows? She probably was with some Wahhabis or whatever. And if you're a Muslim, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you used to be, or if you study Islam, you know exactly what I mean. She probably wasn't even a part of Sunni Islam, or she probably wasn't a part of the four schools of thoughts. None of that. But men aren't well adjusted. Bro, I was just about to say that, like, yo, we adjusted to create this idea for you.
Is a very important detail, which is just like human respect and dignity. Yeah. And not asking people to prove what their experience is and to prove to you. Like, it is like such conservative thinking to say, like, I don't understand, explain it to me, versus just saying, I don't understand.
You mean liberal, not conservative, idiot. I told you, you let women talk, sometimes they sound stupid. You meant to say liberal, you said the wrong word. That would be liberal, not conservative. Wrong word.
Let me respect what you are saying.
I'm respecting wherever your starting point. I'm respecting that. I'm really respecting that. I'm saying that if you don't have the mindset you can even achieve it, you're never going to even try. So it's never
achieve what? Like, what are we talking about? Because I feel like
you
projected this like capitalist ideology on everyone.
First of all, I think a person that doesn't know Western civilization and you're a part of a discussion of feminism, I think you should not even be there. You're a part of an Islamic religion. You have nothing. You shouldn't even be there. You should have nothing to say. You should shut the hell up. You should sit back and take this as a learning. You should take this as a teachable moment. Learn from the women and just shut up, because you don't know nothing about Western civilization. at least these women, especially Pearl, for example, born in America, raised, over there in the UK. So she's familiar with different cultures like Poland and Romania and Australia and China. She's familiar with it because she's actually traveled the world and observed the cultures of different people. But she knows. You came out of your introduction, you know nothing about Western civilization. So I think you should take a seat in the back and listen and not talk and not call someone conservative because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You meant to say liberal. You said the wrong word. So that lets you know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the fact that no one corrected her, which I'm not expecting them to, but I thought the transformer right behind her would have done that.
Whatever it is you're looking for, equality, equity. But what I'm saying is women in the feminist space and a lot of these other spaces, we don't acknowledge that we have to take the initiative. We have to take the action. We have to have the mindset. We have to demand those things. I don't understand how we're getting so off topic. This is about feminism today, whereas everybody wants to make this about their individual, here are only the multitude of other things that factor into my person. Great. This is about feminism. It's about womanhood. I understand that all of you have your own individual experiences and the other things that feed into you as a person. That's perfectly fine. But this is where intersectionality falls off the planet and loses, I would argue, probably the vast majority of people, including me. I'm not even a feminist. I don't give a crap about feminists arguing amongst themselves about who's the most victimized. But this is annoying to listen to. I honestly I don't understand anything anybody's even trying to get at.
Look, I just want to say that.
Now, that's Sydney. When I heard her say that, I said, God damn, she took the words right out of my head. And I said, damn, we made this, everybody has a personal understanding of what feminism is. Because that's what happens when you have a radical group. Everybody wants to have their own way. They don't want to have the actual foundation. They don't want to go through the foundation that teaches of it. They want to come up, oh, well, I'm black. I have a problem. Oh, I'm disabled. I have a problem. Oh, I have no teeth. I have a problem. Oh, I can't get my education because I'm not mentally stable to do it. I have a problem. But I'm a feminist. Like, wait a minute. Shouldn't you try to fix that problem or deal with that problem before you become a part of a group? Should you be a part of the disabled group of women instead of trying to be a feminist?
I don't think equity and this concept of competition can't coexist with each other. Equity is building more.
Here go the other transformer.
Facilities for people who need them. It is recognizing that there are holes in the market and there's opportunities for women and feminine expansive people.
This motherfucker got big breasted. This motherfucking breast is bigger than everybody's on the panel. How much hormones you been taking? You been doing this shit since birth, and they hit you with the I'm gonna get flagged now. What they hit you with the damn hormone blockers early as an infant? Like, come on. I'm just saying.
Those opportunities. I think equity can buoy the pre-existing system that we live in a good way.
And this is what we're going to get to. What I think the real feminist arguments are based off of policy, and abortion is the biggest one.
How many of you would identify?
Now, keep in mind, we never got the answer about the barrier. It doesn't exist. That's why you can't answer it. However, let's move on to abortions. See that? Now, this is what happened. No offense to any women watching this or you watch this on the replay. This is what happens when you get 9 women in one room and there's one logical question. No one answers it for 10 minutes. And we just move on to the next point.
Pro-choice. Let's do a show of hands for pro-choice.
I feel like pro-choice is pro-life, though.
Yeah.
The ones that raise their hands are the Islamic chick who's no longer Islamic, as you say, who knows nothing about Western civilization, the transformer, the black chick that's in the back that I think is fine as shit from New Jersey, and the disabled chick. They're the only ones that raise their own hands for pro-choice. Hold on, let me run it back.
How many of you would identify as pro-choice? Let's do a show of hands for
Make sure I get the
pro-choice.
right count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4.
Yeah. Okay, and folks who identify as pro-life?
Everybody
Why
else
do
did right.
you identify as each?
You've gone from legal, safe, rare to, yeah, I'm so proud. Let me beatbox in front of the Planned Parenthood. Yeah, I got murder on my mind. The fact that it's celebrated that murdering children, especially in late-term pregnancies, is celebrated, that people are so proud of themselves for mutilating a fetus, is just, it blows my mind. And
Thank you, Cindy. I love you. When I heard her say that, I said, God damn it, this woman trying to get married.
think you need to be pro-life to even take that.
And you said late-term pregnancy.
Yes.
A lot of abortions do not happen.
I made the distinction specifically because lots of people still celebrate. There are people who, when the laws are passed, actually here in New York, they said, yes, great, yes, I love that.
But you need to ask about what are people celebrating, right? They're celebrating access. We're not celebrating, hey, like that's not what it is.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
It's a contradiction to celebrate access to do something and say you're not celebrating killing children. Damn, can I say that? Damn, I'm gonna get flagged for that one. Because they could take that as terrorism or some shit. And I really didn't mean it in that context. But that's how you gotta be careful. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get flagged for that one. But no, they're celebrating the A word of the children, aborting children. Let me say that, it's the proper word. You celebrate aborting children, if you celebrate the access or the quote unquote access to do so, you have to celebrate the act. Like you can't say, I support people who are able to legally smoke marijuana and be like, I don't support people who smoke marijuana. It's just the right to do it. Like, really? Because that's people who support abortion who don't even want to have abortions. They just want to just have the right to do so. But you can't say you don't support the idea of doing it.
Well, here's the thing. When we're talking about access to reproductive health and to abortion rights, right, and to being pro-choice, listen, that's your body. You try to view your body.
Somebody said the child is not your body. Bro, did you hear that shit?
A baby. It's so scary for me to hear people calling like
this bitch, the black chick in the front, right? The one that said that black women is considered a barrier for feminism, right? Who haven't been getting the rights, as they call it, said that it's not you, it's a baby. The baby's not a part of you, it's a baby. I want to make sure I hear that. Did I hear that right? Let's run it back.
reproductive health and to abortion rights, right, and to being pro-choice. Listen, that's your body. I'm trying to view your body like a baby. It's so scary for me to hear people.
I want to say they cut it. It was like an edit. I want to know what she said in full context. Because it just showed that she said it's not your body. Then she said a baby. So something she said they edited. And that's why I wish I had the unedited version of this. But there's something she said, because you can clearly tell it was an edit. But that's what they made it out to be. And I want to know, did she say something different? I would like to know what it is.
Calling like guns the biggest equalizer for women, but taking their choices away from them at a policy level. Why is that? Having a gun is an equalizer. Having rights is an equalizer. Having rights is an equalizer. And in this country, there are policies that are pushed to continue perpetuating.
For Pearl, it's like 41 forms of birth control. And this lady over here, the Islamic chick, talking about gun rights. Gun rights have been around for years. It's a constitutional right. Having an abortion was never a constitutional right. Have we forgot there was no such thing as having them? Oops. So we want to have guns to protect, well, people like you, women, children, families, ourselves. What is the problem? Like, how you gonna compare and contrast abortion with gun rights? What? Oh, well, let's compare. So it's a problem having a gun. It's not a problem that, especially when it comes to black women, we lead in abortions in America at a staggering rate. Oops. We don't want to talk about that though. But anywho.
Taking the autonomy away from women, it is heartbreaking to see women pushing back off their lives. Oh, brainwash. Like, you already brainwashed because I feel, no, I have been brainwashed. I have been deeply institutionalized.
Now remember, hold on, let me let her finish. Now, since she's been living under Islam, you can't come into a Western civilized conversation talking about you are under Islam. That is a religion, first of all, and we can't even say, according to the religion, if you were even treated fairly. That is unfair to the religion as its own right, and it's unfair to the women that's on this panel, and it's unfair to the viewers, because you come here with a point of view that we don't know. Because there are women who go up under this religious aspect, whether they be Mormons or Christians or Judaism or whatever. We don't know. You probably was, married to a Muslim, they probably was smacking you every day. It probably was a ritual to wake up and do some type of violent act to you. But that don't necessarily mean that we're supposed to see your point of view from a religious standpoint. Once you say that, you just said in the beginning you don't even know about Western civilization. So how you gonna sit there and try to tell us what goes on over here? The only people on this panel that's not from America is you. Everyone, I know that Cindy is from Australia, but I think it's only 2 women who aren't from the West. 2. And Paul is living in the UK and has been all over the world. Well, not all over, but in certain parts at least, with that for that matter.
I'm not interested in living thinking that women are doing this really bad thing. In my religion, abortion is actually allowed. If the woman needs it, she's allowed, because it's very interesting how fundamental.
No, see, that's a lie. Islam does not teach you to have an abortion. No, it is not. Abortion is not acceptable in Islam, and I'm a former Muslim. That's not true. Islam does not teach you. There is no hadith that say you can have an abortion. You can actually murder the children. I can't say that. Delete children. There's no hadith that says this. No. As a matter of fact, there's no such thing ever. So she just sat there and lied on national TV.
We're also talking about people not having access to abortion clinics, where they're doing things to self and they die. We're also talking about women in the hospital.
Oh, you mean the women that took you in the alleyway? You talk about them, or you talk about the men that used to do it back in the day? This is 2023. Ain't nobody doing that no more. I live in Tennessee. It's not acceptable in Tennessee, but if you want to get it done, you go to Arkansas. Yeah. We don't want to hear that. You don't have access to it. Okay, you don't have access to a Planned Parenthood. You can't go to the next state over? I don't want to hear this. This is garbage. This is rubbish. These are excuses because you just want to support something, and you just want to belong to something, and you want to say something that doesn't make sense, that you want something to support your argument.
Who have chosen to stay with their pregnancy and have issues at hospitals, and hospitals that are like, oh, no, we don't do that. Listen, for whatever reason, you don't need to explain it to anybody, but a lot of times when we're talking about access to reproductive health, for me, I'm thinking about Black Indigenous.
Notice that Pearl had mentioned 41 forms of birth control, and they act like they didn't hear that. They act like they didn't hear that. Nobody cut her off and said, what did you say? No one said that. They said, oops, we're just going to act like we didn't hear that. Keep talking, girl, basically.
Particularly women and girls who are working class, who do not have even access to proper sexual education.
She said, access to proper sexual education. Cortez, did you hear that shit? They don't have access to proper sexual education. Yo, the average 23-year-old girl know how to do every sex position imaginable. They know exactly what's going on. They know, listen, come on. Yo, really? They don't know about morning after pills. They don't know about birth control, depot shots, IUDs. They don't know nothing about that. Well, okay, so let's just say they don't know. They have the first child. When you have the first child, the first thing they're doing, they're educating you about not trying to have the second one. Right? Am I right or wrong, bro? They educate you about, hey, you can take these necessary precautions, because we're not going to tie your tubes until you're a certain age, right? If you're young.
right? Let's just say, because we know a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-old girls in the past up to now who had babies. 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 21-year-olds having 2, 3, 4, 5 kids before they're 25. This is not up for debate. You know, go on these dating apps. They got an app called, what is it called? They got a dating app called Stir for women with children. You know how many women that are 30 and got 3 children, 4 children, 5 children? I probably seen a week ago 20-something women under 30 with 4 children or more. 3 children or more, let me be clear, 3 or more. All women in America get the education when they start going to the OBGYN. She didn't mention that though. They educate you about what the hell is going on and what you do sexually, all these different things. Like, stop it. You see, they let these women talk, they sound stupid. Just let them talk.
It's your own will, well, especially when you're thinking about women and girls who would be forced to have these children who are already living in very traumatized and scared situations. You want to ask about barriers? That's a barrier. Women and
And then you go look at Pearl. Yeah, you want to talk about a barrier? That's a barrier right there. 41 forms of birth control. I didn't know it was 41. I didn't know it was over 15. I didn't know it was that many. It's many of them. And you know what barrier that's not even non-existent? When you say those forms of birth control. So no, there's no such thing as a barrier. Going out the pills. I keep mentioning this one situation where I had sex with this one girl and the condom got stuck. The condom got stuck. And immediately, the first thing that came to her mind is, I need to go get a morning after pill. She wasn't saying, I'll get it later. Oh, don't worry about it. I said, no. She said, well, let's get up and go get it now.
Let's go get it now. We went to Walgreens. We picked this up at Walgreens. We got the morning after pill. She got her a bottled water. She drunk the water. She took the pill in front of me. And you know what she did? She gave me the biggest hug imaginable. And the first thing she said out of her mouth was, we are not ready for that. And then again, she was a white girl. But anyway.
No matter what happens, rich women are gonna keep getting abortions, and people in poverty are gonna not. And
this bitch said women in poverty don't have abortions, rich women do. What? This the disabled chick now. The disabled chick said rich women have abortions, poor women don't. They don't have access to have abortions. Woo! Yo, now this is when it gets comedy. This turns into comedy at this point. It's comedy now. This is hilarious.
The overruling is marginally affecting people of color, people in poverty, way more than people who are going to get access to those abortions.
Actually, incorrect. You're missing this one. There's actually more abortions for people in poverty.
School that bitch, Pearl. That's why I love you, baby. School this bitch. Oh, damn it. They went to a commercial. Damn it, don't do Pearl like this. Give her all the fucking time to speak.
It's just at a lower rate.
Why do you think that abortion has been so tied up in this feminism conversation?
It's all just social structures.
I bet you that disabled chick had something to say about that. And Pearl probably expounded on it, gave all the reasons, and they edit that shit out. Because all of a sudden, that conversation just was cut short. You see that? Come on, Vice. Like, y'all full of shit.
It's just so
I see exactly what they were saying, how they were cutting shit out, right?
Why do you think that abortion has been so tied up in this feminism conversation?
It's all just social structures set up around bodies. So if not all women are able to have babies, but it's about the barriers and value that we give to these specific bodies, right? And so if abortion happens in a woman's body, that's what this conversation is coming up.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said that not all women are able to have babies or pregnancies. Are you saying, meaning like an infertility issue?
A number of reasons. There's all kinds of reasons that not all women are having babies. Pearl, I saw your hand up. Yeah.
I think women want to sleep around and not have any consequence for it.
Hell yeah, we do.
Instead of, taking personal accountability and being on birth control, they just want to like do whatever they want.
Notice this. Notice the awkward silence when she said that. That wasn't edited. Look at this. You ought to see the facial expression at 20 minutes and 10 seconds of this video. You should see their faces. Their first thing came to their mind was like, "Ooh, this bitch she giving the game a black eye?" Cause that's the reason. You want to be able to fuck who you want to fuck, and you don't want to deal with the consequences. And if you do fuck up, and if you just so happen just get pregnant, I just want to have an abortion. Just want to have an abortion. When in reality, you can just be responsible, like I've done in every one of my relationships. Get on birth control, depot shots, get the shit put in your arm, get an IUD. Listen, there's a reason my son about to be 18 February 21st, and there's a reason I don't have a bunch of children. I think I've been fairly cautious about where I put my penis. I think I've been fairly careful about how I have sex with women. I think I've been very good with that. I think I've been very careful with not getting another chick pregnant, because there's been plenty of women since that day. Since 2005, there's been plenty, right? So I think I've been very careful about how I deal with myself. And women should do that because, well, there's consequences with this shit. After all, men have way bigger consequences being parents, especially financially. Women don't have to really deal with finances when it comes down to children. If you really want to, you can go to work, bust your ass. And salute to the women that do. But to the ones that don't, there's always somebody that's going to help you. It's called the United States government.
It's like a bad thing. Yeah.
It almost sounds like you said,
Can I also ask, do you have any care to empower women, or is disempowering women part of your C's?
Now, this is what they call deflecting. Instead of addressing what the fuck she's talking about, let's just ask, do you care about empowering women? First of all, empower yourself. Men don't look to each other and say, we need to empower our men. We need to uplift men. Like, no, we don't need to do that. We grown. Let's uplift ourselves to be better men for society. Stop all this goofy shit. And this is, once again, the Islamic chick.
If it was a shame, insult, guilty, right? Okay. Why is it empowering to sleep around?
Why is it empowering? I feel like you do take the way you speak on women is very sort of women just don't want to do this. Women just don't have this. Women just want to do this. And I wonder why you have so.
And you know what's funny? I bet she was one of those docile, quiet women who probably just learned how to be a feminist, and she doesn't know what she's doing. It's not our fault you were involved with radicalized version of Islam, right? It's not our problem you were dealing with a radical Muslim who was probably your husband, or maybe even your boyfriend, probably didn't marry you. I don't know. But look at how she's trying to address a woman who's from the fucking West, who's from Western civilization, who knows what it's like to live in other countries. You don't. You only know about that culture from somewhere else. On the East, you only know about that. So you just became a feminist. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Remember, she's supposed to be taking the back seat and taking this as a teachable moment. She's not even trying to educate herself. She wants to educate people when she can't. You're uneducated to educate people.
It's like hatred towards women. I don't hate
Where does that root in?
I don't hate
like you
women.
do.
I am a woman. I
Doesn't mean you have something racism. I think specific things that you're saying,
women don't want to work, women don't want to this, women want to sleep around. Where did you learn these belief systems from?
Because, okay, the question was, why does abortion keep getting brought up? 40% of women that have had abortions have had 2 or more. 40%. So what does that say to me? That means you're using it as a form of birth control.
The disabled lady said, good for them. As I said, this is not even feminism. It is anti. It is destroying females, destroying feminism. This is not feminism. This is not. It's beyond, it's not even close. This is hatred toward females with the right to be reckless as a gender. So much so that you let a man come in and be it. That's how fucked up this is. So when it comes down to men who speak like myself and many others, we're more feminist than you. We care about females more than you do. We're the real feminists. We're the real people who represent feminism, who feel like, yeah, you do have a right if you act accordingly, if you treat your gender accordingly, if you call out this quote unquote transformer in the corner and the other one to the left, and tell them, hey, you can't represent me. You have nothing to say about me. And this other chick over from the East who know nothing about Western civilization, who clearly can't tell you that in America alone, this is a problem over here. You don't know what the fuck is going on over here. You're from over there. You can't even drive a car in most countries. So you don't know what it's like to be free, to drive a vehicle, yet alone have rights as a woman.
60%. Okay, but you let me finish. They don't track the 60% to say who in the future has abortion. So to me, it's like, why are they dying so hard for abortion? They want to sleep around with no consequences, even though you have 41 forms of birth control.
Thank you.
Who does that benefit? I don't think that benefits women. I think actually that benefits men because it means that men can have sex with you without consequence.
Thank you, Sydney.
Right. But there are consequences because women are the ones who get pregnant and carry babies and give birth.
Thank you.
Yeah, because
thank you. Now, see, that's the thing. When women start saying that, you say to yourself, wait a minute, this is damaging us, not men. This is not crippling men, this is crippling us. Because you do understand that once you have an abortion, it is not healthy for you in the future. It's not. You know how many women I've met? Yeah, I've had an abortion because of that. I can't have a baby no more. And I did it at 23. And now I'm 40, not 40, 30, and I can't have an abortion. I mean, I can't have a baby. Or I tried and I had a miscarriage. Or I tried and the baby died. Or I tried and my baby came out, was birth, had an early birth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Yeah. That hurts women. When you can just be responsible, there's many forms of birth control. Until you're ready, until you're sure, then you do it. Because I'm only feeling sorry for women who actually lay down with their husbands, have a baby, and if shit goes wrong, she gets the pass because she actually did it the right way. And I'm grateful for saying, my dad and my mom, they were married when they gave birth to me. I'm grateful to say that. Even though they didn't work out.
Please let me finish my point. Oh God. It's tricking women into thinking.
Yeah, she said, oh God. Now, the disabled chick said, oh God, when the lady said she wanted to make her point, Sydney hadn't even talked that much. She's probably the less spoken person next to the transformer next to her. She hadn't even said much. She was like, oh God. The disabled chick is just a rude bitch. She's just a rude bitch. She's just rude. And I figured, and this is another thing I've noticed. Disabled women over my time have been the biggest assholes that I've met. They have been the biggest assholes, the most ungrateful pieces of fucking work. Just how are you disabled and you're an asshole? How? This woman is in a wheelchair with no legs, and she's an asshole. You can't even respect someone's opinion, especially when you have no factual opinion. This actual person is actually telling you the truth over here. And actually bag it up, and then you don't have an answer. Meanwhile, you're like, oh God, this woman wants to make her point.
consequences because women are the ones who get pregnant and carry babies and give birth. Yeah, because sex is binary, but please let me finish my point. It's tricking women into thinking that aborting a pregnancy, terminating pregnancy, is something to be celebrated, when in reality, for a lot of women, especially those who are doing it under duress, say that they've been raped, or that, in the small circumstances where something really traumatic has happened to them, that's a medical decision. Or say they're miscarrying and they have to, have an assisted termination. That's a medical procedure. It's not a celebration of, oh, look at the war. The idea of
And for the record, the R word is such a small percentage of problems. It's not even 1%. The medical issue is also a small percentage of why abortions are necessary. But, however, I think that is the only time abortion needs to be acceptable, upon medical issues and the R word. That's it. If there's something medically needs to be done, then do it, because it's medically done. But let's be real. We're not celebrating the people who get the R word. We don't celebrate that reason. We're not celebrating medical issues. We're not celebrating none of those pregnancies that go bad. We're not celebrating that. We're celebrating the fact that my body, my choice is what we celebrate when it comes down to it. Nobody's running around, oh my God, these women are getting raped. So we gotta stop. We have to support abortion. No, they want to support abortion because it's my body, my choice. Meanwhile, when your punk ass is in a court trying to get child support, you don't say my body, my choice. You say, our baby, your money. Oops. Sort of like or our baby, my custody. My baby, your non-custodial right is what's the word? Visitation. Your 60, 70 days out of 365 days of a calendar. Yeah, our baby, your 60 days out of a year. Your every other weekend. Your 48 hours. Yeah. To be rare is, I think the correlation between that's medical abortion and that's fun abortion is really interesting because they're all medical procedure. So no matter what you're doing, like it's not like, oh, it's just like you should just be able to get a medical procedure done when it's something she called abortion a medical procedure. It's just a medical procedure. Remember, the chick that's about to talk right now said that it's not part of your body. It's a baby. The other chick just said this is just a medical procedure. Giving birth is a medical procedure too. And they shouldn't have to pay for a medical procedure. Oh, they don't want to have that discussion. However, I don't believe in that. I think if you have a baby, you should take care of the baby. But here we go. Just a medical procedure. Desensitized to taking someone's life. That should never be a deterring factor. I definitely agree in that, like, there should be no absolute thing any woman can do. There should not be an absolute response to incest or rape or any of these things. Every woman should have the choice of if they want to or not want to carry that child, whether it is having fun, getting raped, incest, whatever it is. You said that twice in a matter of 5 seconds. You see that? That's to justify the means of what you want to do. If you got to say it twice in 5 seconds and not just say, because she mentioned the word fun, she didn't just say sleep around. She said, what if you just want to have fun? That's her way of saying, well, if you want to just sleep around. But she had to clean it up by saying my word and incest. She had to say that twice. Did you catch it? Glorifying and glamorizing abortion, I think it's a very traumatic thing. I doubt that if somebody has to do, like if they have to do it, they'll do it. I don't think that people are like, doing like have sex at the 7:03 and having fun with it. And I think that like glamorization and glorification of any side is not okay. No, you're not doing that because there comes a point in most cases, bodies are different. And when you have that first one, you might not need to have the second one because you won't be able to get pregnant. In most cases, I've met
many women in my whole life. Yeah, probably. If I actually just thought about how many women I've probably met in my entire life, it's probably been over 1,000. I probably talked to over 1,000. Met over in person probably 200. I probably had conversations with at least 1,200 maybe. Because I'm just really saying that because of social media. But as far as like having discussions, I probably talked to over 1,000 personally. Even if it was a few minutes or maybe 30 minutes or, I don't like you, I'm gonna holler at you and don't call again, that type of shit. But I probably had a verbal conversation with over 1,000. Majority of them have some form of trauma, whether it be abuse, physical, mental, as children, as adults, with their ex-husbands, their ex-boyfriends, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their dads. I said that already. Sisters. I don't think it's nothing I haven't heard. I've heard sisters, sexually abusing their sisters. Brothers sexually abusing their sisters. Cousins sexually abusing the mothers sexually abusing the son. I've heard that story, like from a woman, where her brother was getting sexually abused by his own mom. Like, I've heard it all. I've heard every disgusting thing that you can think of from women. Personally. Because I talked to more women than I talked to men in my whole life. I could clearly say I've talked to probably way more women than I've ever talked to men. So I've heard in my ear the craziest shit ever. So to sit here, you know what I haven't heard? I haven't heard many women say that they had been R-word or there was some form of incest. Maybe 3 or 4 times over my life where I've heard those stories. This is why I got pregnant. Rarely. I have heard, sleeping around, I got pregnant. I ain't know what I was doing. I was drunk. That type of shit. I was drunk and, one thing led to another. Cortez, I think we'd have heard that shit how many times from a woman? I'm pretty sure you have. Hey, I got drunk. One thing led to another. We were smoking it. You know how it is, bruh. Yeah, word. Yeah, you stayed with old baby daddy you couldn't stand for the last 25 years, and you got 4 kids, and you pregnant with the 5th one, ain't you? Okay, yeah. Tell me how it happened. Yeah. That's how it happened. That easy. Yeah. All right.
Did the Dobbs decision make anybody here sort of rethink abortion access, reproductive health care? It's anti-woman, right? It does not censor people to have that voice for themselves and their own decisions, right? It is a barrier, right? If we want to put it that way.
Keep in mind, the word that was mentioned, Pearl introduced the word. She introduced the word, and they have been saying, what's stopping you? and they just coming up with shit that they're trying. It's like they're trying to fight their way out of a wet punching bag, and they're so weak they can't do it.
Women, because it's moving it back to the state level. So locally,
the state has
women the power. If you take out the viewpoint that life begins at conception, which is a really big defining principle for both the pro-life crowd, who very, very vehemently believe that, and then obviously a lot of the pro-choice crowd do not believe that. Taking that out of the equation, you do not have just whatever kind of autonomy you want as a person, regardless of male or female. You can't just have free run to do whatever the hell you want. That's not how society operates. So at no point do I have the right to tell anyone in this room what they should or should not do with their bodies. It's about the kid's body. I don't care what you do with your body.
Jordan, I saw your hand creep up. The Dobbs decision for me reinforced how important it is that we approve.
And here goes the transformer. So apparently there was a heated discussion with Pearl, and they cut that off too. I clearly know Pearl probably owned these bitches. Her and Sydney probably owned these bitches. If there was a 4-hour discussion, I'm pretty sure Pearl just owned these bitches. Pearl and Sydney probably ran laps around these chicks. intellectually ran laps around these chicks easy.
These issues from a cultural perspective.
And 2 dudes. But anyway, the dude's talking about right now, by the way. And I think, is he the only one with it? Though she got a dress on too.
It reinforces something that I've told many of my colleagues and peers in the past, which is that so long as you lack a cultural consensus, any issue can become a political football that can be decided by another election cycle. And so long as there is no strong consensus, I would expect this to be our reality going forward. These extremely vitriolic and aggressive conversations until there's another miraculous consensus that brought about Roe v. Wade. But what it more or less reinforced for me is that we're going to have more of these.
Oh goodness, come on, ants.
To have more of these difficult conversations.
I want to talk about transgender issues. Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yeah. And this is the part of the discussion where I think I'm gonna get flagged. But anything for it, let's go.
They're women. What's the question?
And ironically, the disabled chick instantly said, "Well, they're women. Yeah, they're women." You see, this is what's wrong with women in America. They let anything go. As long as they're a part of the feminist movement, they don't care. This chick thinks that being disabled interrupts her being a feminist or being a part of feminism or whatever. But you allow men to come in and be you. That's not a barrier. I just gave them an answer. The barrier is the men that want to be you. And they've already interrupted what a woman is now. So that's the barrier. You just don't know it yet. Just give it time.
Trans women are women. So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete. So I play
Somebody say, "Oh, Jesus."
basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces because I don't think it's a fair. I think as female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports.
Thank you.
Like, there's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries. That's a barrier.
And here go the overweight, the asshole. There's a barrier there. You see, she's being an asshole. And now it's hard to feel sorry for certain people like her because she's really an asshole that's just disabled. I met plenty of them. They're just assholes. They're just really assholes. Naturally, they're assholes because they're mad because of what they're going through now. But probably the reason they go through the shit they go through because they're just assholes, naturally. And maybe for a reason you there because you're an asshole. You're a bitch. You need to probably sit in a damn wheelchair for the rest of your life because you're an asshole. You probably didn't appreciate having 2 legs at one point. You probably didn't appreciate your ability to move around at one point. So that's why you are the way you are right now, because you're an asshole. This is what happens. And it doesn't stop you, because no matter what, you're like Lieutenant Dan. No matter what, you got no legs and you still an asshole. You're like Lieutenant Dan, motherfucker. Like, come on, yo.
It's not, no. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay. So, again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're going to take the little opportunity that we're given. And the problem is, we can't compete. We can't. I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me. And
and here come the Islamic chick. Say, if I just go up against you, then bitch, you from the East. You don't know nothing about. First of all, you don't know nothing about that anyway. You've been probably stuck in your house in a fucking room. You've been a part of Islam. You clearly state you don't know what the fuck you talking about over here. You probably don't even know nothing about that. You probably don't even know what a traveling violation is. Come on, let that woman make her point from a standpoint of her going against a 6 foot male is a disadvantage. Period.
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for. And you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli.
Now, keep in mind, the Transformers got very offended. You can look at their face when they say when she said biological men. That's what happens when you put biology in there. They don't like that word. Watch this.
Sorry, confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches. Confidence can't make me
hostile. She's sharing her experience.
No, she's sharing.
And I have to know. No, she's not. She's a woman who's had experience. Your own experiences and your own existence, and yet when a woman is sitting here telling you, I feel as though this is unfair and this is compromising and this situation is not helping women, you guys are like, right. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, and this, then it's not valid and fair and viable.
Eli, I want to give you the chance to respond.
And whatever she was saying, they cut that part. But that's why I love this Sydney girl. This Sydney girl, when she said that was an excellent point. All of you got issues on a personal level, but listen how she approached the thing that she wanted to say. I'm gonna come at this from a sports perspective as an athlete. So she made her premise clear that this will be from my standpoint. She clearly didn't say this was a general standpoint. But she also related it to sports as well and made her point by explaining as a disclaimer, this is what I'm doing. The other girl didn't do that.
So this is basically a joke of a talking point. Everyone has biological advantages in sports. How tall are you?
5'11" and a half. I'm tall.
I'm 5'8". I am a trans woman. You would crush me. You would absolutely crush
bone density, wrist strength,
Yeah.
muscle density. You can't switch those.
Bone density, muscle strength. Like, as soon as she said that, the transformer was like, what? Yeah, bitch. Yeah, we know. You still a biological man. You got way more advantages than she do at 5'8", but all those biological strengths is an advantage over the 6-foot woman. You know it. Run it back. That was classic. Pearl, tell it, fucking dude. Tell him.
I'm 5'8". I am a trans woman. You would crush me. You would absolutely
bone density, wrist strength, muscle density. You can't switch those.
Yeah, exactly. You would crush me.
But also, Eli, you would never play at the level that pro plays because you would never get there.
So let me give you a few more examples here too. So Michael Phelps produced more lactic acid in his body, which caused him to swim better than any of his competitors. This was widely celebrated, and nobody contested it. Now, this is a performance-enhancing hormone. So we all have different bodies.
And Michael Phelps dealt with that as an illegal thing to do. Such a poor argument. Really?
I'm not saying that trans women who aren't on hormones should participate, but there are, every major medical and every major sports organization agrees that trans women who have been on hormones for between 1 and 3 years, depending on the organization, have the same competitive abilities.
The study that you're referencing had like 7 people participated.
That's misinformation, by the way. I'm referencing several different studies. I'm a trans woman and a researcher. It's getting personal.
Now, you notice that when the person wanted to rebuttal, you know what that person said? I am a trans woman. Like basically what you better say, I don't give a fuck. And that's what you have done, women. You have allowed this man to come in your space and tell you, shut the fuck up. I said I am. And what you gonna do about it? And you gotta accept it. Because now you'll be perceived as hateful. This video probably will stay up because this could be considered hate speech. That's what happens when you let men in your space that want to be you. And they basically, without telling you shut up, tell you to shut up by saying, I am what I am. Run that back.
Have the same competitive abilities.
The study that you're referencing had like 7 people participated.
That's misinformation, by the way. I'm referencing several different studies. I'm a trans woman and a researcher. It's getting personal. I don't want to.
She said, I am a transgender and I'm a trans woman and I'm a researcher. Basically, shut up. You ain't talking about shit. I say what I say and it goes. It's law. Now what? Now, woman, shut up. Now, remember, put a man in place of what the hell he want to tell you about being a woman. Ain't that toxic masculinity? Ain't that misogynist? Ain't that what misogyny is? Ain't that what that is? Isn't that hyper masculinity? Ain't that what that is? Oops, you can't say that to that because it's you now. Oh, this shit getting funny.
Because a lot of us live in this space where we're told that our feelings don't count because they're not the right kind of opinions, and we're constantly shouted over and talked over, regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because
The Islamic chick just bust out with an evil fucking laugh, yo. You can't make this up. Let me run that back. Look at this crazy chick.
It's getting personal. I don't want it to be personal. Space where we're told that our feelings don't count because they're not the right kind of opinions, and we're constantly shouted over and talked over, regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, it's frustrating.
Best believe if a woman just bust out laughing like that, she's nuts. She's cuckoo. That chick is crazy. I can see it in her face. I try to give her the benefit of a doubt, but she's crazy. And what happens is she's probably never gotten help for the trauma she's went through, being involved with her Islamic marriage or relationship, whatever it may be, situation, whatever you want to call it. Ain't no telling what she's been through. She's cuckoo. She's crazy. This woman knows nothing about Western civilization, for the record. This woman right here, at least, is from Australia. But you're the person that know nothing about Western civilization. You're uneducated about majority of the shit they're talking about. And that was funny.
Yeah, we try to talk about it, we get told to be funny, we get spoken down too as well. And there's hostility there for plenty of women. Let's try to make this an opportunity to see. You're literally living in Australia, you're living in a bubble, and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard. That's why they have the voice, because they speak out. Okay, we're having a conversation.
Now, she had the nerve to say this, a white woman from Australia. You're a so-called you're probably an indigenous person who was a Muslim in an Islamic relationship. You probably got your ass kicked every day, probably got mistreated. Who knows what you've been through? And it sounds like she has a lot of trauma that she needs to get therapy for. She needs to get help because she's laughing and sounding like an evil ass joker or some shit. Like that's a psychotic type laugh. That's a certain type of psychosis going on with her. And had the nerve to say, "Oh, she lives in a bubble," but she's very educated. Before I got to this video, after I watched this, I watched enough of her videos to know that that girl is educated. She's very educated. I don't agree with a few of her things, but there's a lot of things that I do. I want to know what her channel is about. What is her content? I'm curious to know. I'm gonna look you up, Islamic lady.
About transgender women participating in sports, and I wanted to allow more people to participate. Jordan, I wanted to hear from you.
So I am not a professional athlete. The closest thing I have ever done to anything athletic was I used to do competitive show choir when I was younger, and I don't feel really qualified to make carte blanche statements about whether or not trans women should compete in every kind of sport. And I understand that is kind of, it's a hard pill to swallow. And for me, my first inclination is to approach everything through a lens of inclusivity. But at the same time, I also can't speak accurately to every kind of sport and the different things that go into it. So I really think in these instances, the decisions are best left up to the professional governing bodies that dictate these particular sports.
I just feel like in places.
That's a safe answer. No matter what that person wants to be, that is a safe answer. I don't got no dog in this fight. That makes sense, right? Okay, I ain't gonna fight that battle. And it come to the former Islamic chick.
As an ally in places where there's no understanding, we can just respect and not really like our.
You don't respect her. You laugh and act like a fucking psycho.
Now you talking about respect upon opinions? Fuck out of here.
Opinions don't fucking matter. Eli saw you nod your head over there several times. This is more than about sports. This is about
peep the arrogance this motherfucking transformer got. I saw you raise your hand, yeah, several times. Like, bitch, recognize me. I'm the woman here. That's basically how she's approaching it. Like, recognize me. I'm more of a woman than all y'all, basically. Peep the arrogance. I mean, we always talking about men's arrogance. Y'all don't peep that? Yeah, several times. Like, bitch, you didn't see me? Come on, man. But let that have been a man, though, which it is. However, you can't say that no more.
Free and equal participation for transgender people in social life. And the right sees this as a socially acceptable way to begin to remove trans people from different engagements in our society. So it does just start with sports or bathrooms or locker rooms, something that they find is more acceptable. And then at this point, they start to move into education, getting trans teachers fired, banning trans books. Is a route that is very effective because it's seen as more acceptable. But it's also overlooking a lot of major details. Like, I mean, do y'all know how many trans women have won national titles?
One too many.
One. It's Leah Thomas is the only one. If one too many.
Shut up.
We're actually going to
I can't stand that bitch. Like, for the least educated person on the panel is the loudest voice. The one that's got a ugly face, mean face, damn near just an ass. She's more of an asshole than the disabled chick. I thought the disabled chick was an asshole. This chick over here, the former Islamic chick who had an Islamic relationship, probably was raised Islamic, talking about a bubble. That's a bubble. You don't know nothing about the Western world. Talking about a bubble. Whatever.
In some way, I mean, that's just not happening when you think there are any more trans women in sports than the majority.
It's like Jim Carrey and shit.
Participation. International titles, zero. Titles have never been won by a trans. Hi, I'm Trinity, and welcome to my speed tags. This is my 1920s Spanish bungalow where I've been renovating for the past 5 months. Titles have never been won by a trans woman.
So?
And there's a social movement that we've lived through, we're living through right now. What is the state of feminism sort of in this post?
I've been Me Too before. I've been accused. So what? Most men have been.
Q era. We're in post Me Too, right? Sorry, I got distracted by the Me Too part. Post Me Too, wow, like.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. When the last time y'all really seen the hashtag lately? Yeah, we are in post Me Too. Nobody really says that though. Not really. Nobody says who says Me Too anymore. I'm just saying. Come on, this is how feminists think. They're arrogant as fuck. Like, oh my God, they stop like you just got the news that they don't say Me Too. Hashtag Me Too no more. When last time you heard it? Yeah, come on, man.
No, I think obviously the state of feminism is very much reflected right in this room, but Me Too for me, right, in a particular context, means something for different people.
Here we go.
For different people.
Different experience for different people.
We're still working through that.
Yeah.
There is no post.
We're still working through it.
We're still working through how do we have these tough conversations? How do we teach not just, women, but everyone about consent? What does consent look like? What does it look like in our community? What does that not look like? Right? All those things that I think it's.
But these women are just having thousands of abortions every year. They're uneducated about sex. Oops. Double oops. But,
Still very complicated. But I think it starts at the level of community, right? Of like, how do we have these conversations around consent? Sitting here, sorry,
So you're talking about consent, but I thought we were supposed to be having education about sex. Because women don't have education about sex. That's why they get pregnant. And that's why they don't know how to be a part of the using the 41 forms of birth control. See how they contradict themselves? Just let them talk. Just let them talk and they'll sound stupid eventually. Just let them talk and they'll say something that contradicts what they said previously.
Yeah, when the Me Too thing was unfolding, I was initially like, great, I love the idea of women being able to speak out. What's been really disappointing, I suppose, for me, post Me Too, as we're calling it, is that, and especially as someone who's sort of on the right wing of politics, I think that a lot of the experiences of women on the right get a bit trivialized because there is a lot of politicizing of sexual assault. So when something legitimately happens on our side of the table and someone tries to speak up about it, there's almost an automatic disbelief. And I understand why. It's because of the legal women type of stuff.
Thank you.
Out of the Me Too movement, that a lot of us were like, wait a minute, no, people do use these situations for gain. People do make things up. People do lie. But it is sad to watch it happen. It makes me sad that we're here. Jordan?
I love you, silly. That's why I love this girl. Because she actually tell it like it is. Like, yeah, it is hard to believe most of these women because women lie. And they will make up stories. So it's hard to believe a person that's actually telling the truthful ones. Because what happens is when you get a movement going, everybody follows suit. You know, like how the men want to be women is commercialized now. And if men know that there's rights to be women, they will become quote unquote women in 2 to 3 years. You know, they'll just do it just because it's an advantage. You know?
It'll never be a post Me Too because at the heart of it, Me Too is just a phrase. The spirit of what Me Too represented will always be relevant, and that is that you're empowering individual women to advocate for themselves and speak out when they feel like they're being wrong. Ideally, you're just trying to be the most transparent and self-accountable person you can be, and you need to hit all of those fronts if you want it to last on a cultural level.
How about beauty standards? We talked a little bit about this got brought up at the beginning. How does that tie into femininity? Sorry, I'm very into this idea because
the ugly old disabled chick, beauty standards. She don't even know how to shut up for that. Like, you can shut up. You don't have nothing to say, do you? Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
I do think it is one of the larger intersections that just doesn't get very discussed, which is, like I was talking about before, barriers and friction are placed up around bodies. And the fatter I get, the older I get, the less people will listen to me, the less value I will have for society. So, I'm already starting out as...
No one wants to hear that shit anymore. That is not true. I just said in the beginning, there are overweight chicks who wouldn't even think, or who would even be thought of as an option on a date night, who are now getting all the attention because of social media. These women could be 400, 5'1", OnlyFans, make thousands of dollars every month, don't have to go to work, and they're fine. And women will, and not women, well, women too, women and men alike will clearly tell them they're beautiful. This is a whole new world compared to the 90s. The early 2000s is totally different compared to this era. This era, you could be anything you want to be as a woman. You could be anything you want. There are women I went to school with who were the same size they are, or probably bigger today, that no one would talk to them back then. Now they get that attention. Women do not have to work hard to get the attention from men. Even the beautiful ones don't have to. Yet alone, you don't have to be beautiful. You could be, a group of unattractive women who are leaving you on red. They're leaving you on red. They like, fuck that. There's so many other guys are giving me the attention. I get like 100 inboxes all day. Fuck this average looking dude. I don't need him. I can talk to old pretty boy Brandon. He wants me now. Because the standards are so low for men anyway. Come on, yo. There goes this body positivity that exists when it then over here, this chick is acting like it don't.
Woman with no legs. If I had something on my face, I have my beauty. That's one of my privileges. I have my whiteness. That's
That's one of my privileges.
You are not beautiful. And believe me, when you talk, even if you were pretty, when you talk, it is ugly. That's what people don't understand is people like myself who look at you and be like, oh, well, you could be beautiful because of who you are and how you look. But you could be beautiful, and then as soon as you open your mouth, you could be ugly. The prettiest person could be ugly. Thanks.
I used to have thinness, and now I'm getting fatter. Things are changing. And I think every single time that we talk about feminism, pretty privilege should be discussed because we have these ideas that
pretty privilege does not exist anymore. The pretty privilege does not exist anymore. I'm gonna say it a third time. The pretty privilege don't exist no more. You don't have to be pretty to get no man anymore. It'd probably be hard to keep one that's faithful. Probably hard to keep one, but it ain't hard to get a man and you're not pretty. Don't believe me? Just make one of those fake ass profiles. Go to Stir, go to POF, go to fucking Facebook, go to IG. What's the other date sites? Match, Harmony, eHarmony, what the fuck that? Go to all that shit. Make a male's profile and make a female, make a female profile. Go get an ugly bitch, put on the profile, and just observe and see how many men lust after that ugly chick and tell me what you think. Just do it. Just take the Pepsi challenge. Do it.
Your skin tone is this, if your hair is this, if your body looks like that.
Because I'm telling you, there's one, I got a video on my shit right now. There is a 400-pound white chick who literally, listen to me. Literally, what she does is she eat food. Her belly big as fuck. All she does is eat food. And just sit there and just eat and eat and eat and eat. And the food be all over her stomach. And she just sits there. And you know what you will see? You will see comments. You're beautiful. You're sexy. You're this. You're that. I want to have sex with you. I want to make love to you. I would do anything. I would eat your, like they say all these things. The standards of men today are low. Low. A caterpillar's fucking toenail low. That low. Very low. And if that chick can get anybody, you can too. Pretty privilege is a myth today. That's so 1980, 1990, early 2000. That shit is out the window.
Whether or not you...
This chick right here in a wheelchair right now can go on POF, whatever these apps. Go on these. You should be on IG. Trust me, I know your inbox is pumping up. There's some simp right now, probably in her inbox right now. I love the way you handle those feminists, those anti-feminist women. You go, girl. What's your name and number? If she's not married. I don't know this lady, but I'm pretty sure they're in her inbox. It's an easy answer. Social media is a fucking tool for anything.
Are given an equal opportunity based on what you look like.
I think a lot of times the women that complain about beauty standards don't complain about them when they got privilege, when they were young and attractive and thin. So it's like, yeah, you're complaining.
Oh, she dissed the fuck out of. Oh, she dissed the shit out of. Ah! I didn't catch that. Hold on, run it back.
I think a lot of times the women that complain about beauty standards don't complain about them when they got privilege, when they were young and attractive and thin. So it's like, yeah, you're complaining when the privilege is gone, but privilege is invisible to those who have it, and women, it's a privilege, and men don't get looks that we get.
As a Black woman,
you should have seen her face when she said that. That lady had that smile on her face, like, "Oh, you bitch." She had the look on her face, like, "Oh, you didn't, bitch." Yes, she did, ho. She said exactly what you were thinking. Yeah, when you were younger, because you said it out of your mouth. It was kind of like in battle rap, you know, when she say something and the person that goes after the battle rap first round, that was the rebuttal to what you said. Yeah, you were hot when you were 18, when you were thinner, when you wasn't this big, and you probably were more pretty then. The privilege did exist at one point, basically what she's saying.
Most integral part of the beauty conversation has been colorism. I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, proud of it, and proud of being myself.
Let me say, colorism is a Black thing. Don't bring that shit to the conversation about feminists. or beauty standards. Keep that shit in the black community as a black community problem. And truth be told, that's a Western civilization problem. So that you should have never brought up colorism. Why did this dark-skinned woman do that? That has nothing to do with these people sitting in front of you. That is a black thing. Keep it there. That has nothing to do with beauty standards. Come on, man. No, you ain't gonna cry. Stop it.
I did not grow up thinking I was beautiful because I was that. And I think in the black
But why? But why?
We have this conversation.
But why?
I'm glad to bring it up because I think feminists actually really should be part of the colorism.
But why?
Topic because colorism is not just.
But why? Because your mother didn't teach you that. You don't want to say that? You sit in front of these white people, you didn't want to say that? That's messed up. So she didn't want to be honest in front of these white people, but you talking about no one told you? Well, the person that was supposed to tell you was, number one, your mother, number two, your father. And it don't have to be in that order, but those are the first two people that raise you to let you know your standards matter as far as how you look. So you grew up that way, but you don't want to tell these white people that it was your mother or father. So why you bring this up? I hope you say it. I'm waiting for it.
Being black, it's shaped because they're, again, the beauty standard is the closer to whiteness you are, the more beautiful you are. I think it's something that if more people in different shades, particularly white women, because of knowing that standard, we work together on that.
What?
We have a lot. I think something we can.
No, ain't nobody supposed to be working with you. Tell us the problem. Tell us the problem. I grew up with a dark-skinned sister. I grew up with her. I've been there, done that. So what are you talking about? Why don't you talk about the problem? You talking about white people? Like, what the hell? Why are you jumping in front of these people telling this story and not tell the whole story? This is the problem, my dog. Come on, man. Like, what else?
And right now that I'm just not saying is only that's why people feel like you have to be a black feminist because it's a topic that only really black feminists are talking about.
Really? A good commercial. I know they're happy to see a commercial. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Feminists are talking about because it deals with being black. How do beauty standards make you feel, Mars?
I mean, kind of what you're saying, Antonia, as a Black Latina woman in my community, right? Like, I grew up and I was ugly, right? Like, that's what I was considered.
Get the fuck out of here. You are not Black and Latina, and you were ugly. And you from Jersey? Get the fuck out of here. You from Jersey and you grew up Black and Latina and you were ugly growing up? Stop it. Stop it. All the boys loved you. All of them loved you. Come on. You fine too. I'm gonna jump in that inbox. Like, she fine too. But fuck out of here. Ain't nobody said you was ugly growing up. Stop it. That's a lie. So we got the other black chick up here. She fronting like she don't want to say her mother and father is the reason she felt like she wasn't beautiful. No family members, none of those people teased you. You didn't grow up being teased by black people. You didn't want to talk about none of that. So here go the other black chick, which I didn't know she was mixed. So now I know you Black and Latina. Now you telling everybody you ugly. Now this is the problem right here. We got two women of color, one half black, one half Latina, talking about she grew up and said she was ugly. What a joke. Meanwhile, the other chick over here is not going to tell you that she was raised up to be ugly because she said she was probably more beautiful and had the privilege when she was younger. You get the point here? White girl didn't say that. Oops.
Considered beautiful, feeling ugly, but also being told I was, right, had a lot to do with what is believed in my community, right? Colorism is one of them. And so,
oh my God, colorism.
To redefine beauty for myself and to say I own myself.
I'm not saying it don't exist. The fact that you bring this the C word to the public in front of these white people and not tell the truth. and then want to bring up a story about you being ugly. Yeah, maybe people have said that, but I know majority of the people in Jersey, of all places, because she looks like she's fairly young. She looks like she's probably at least 40 or less, right? So you're an 80s baby. You grew up in the New Jack Swing era. You grew up in the fucking dance music era. You know, the 80s as a kid. Like, come on, stop it. There was a time to be alive as a black and Latino woman in Jersey. New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, the East Coast. Stop it, man. This is bullshit.
I get to decide what's beautiful, right? And I get to decide what I want to wear and how I want to wear it, and I don't need to, right? It's also repelling, right? Like I'm like, no, you know what? I am beautiful. I'm gonna do what I want to do, but I'm gonna feel myself because if nobody else is gonna feel me, it's on me to feel me. I gotta say that what I did for me was very beautiful.
See what I mean? The white disabled chick, now she comes in, basically, her arrogance is shown now. You black bitches, you were not beautiful, but I was growing up. Y'all ain't catching it. Y'all tell me I ain't catching it. I caught it. And I just told you, because somebody go fuck with that. And there go her arrogance. It's a bunch of arrogant people in the panel, but that bitch is just as arrogant as the other chick over there. That's a former Islamic chick.
To me, always had this idea that disability doesn't mean you're exceptional, which I then had to keep. So it's like I got this thought as I started to age, like you can have things that you get that. And so this idea that like there are certain people who certain that inherently value is, you know, find it in yourself, yes.
And I say that as someone who's spent over a year. And this is a transformer talking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm overweight with that day. But man, let's continue. Institutions, because I am trying to these things, and meet these beauty standards. To the trends that they push things that street is. I think it was certain many times they were certainly on some steaming. They only have to commit. There's a big space around the big piece of shit. I just actually did nonsense. Like it's Sydney. I love this Sydney. If you're not married, I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm coming to Australia. But Sydney had to look at her face. I need to do a video about her video because she actually got a 27-minute video about this panel. I have yet to watch it. I want to do it as organically as possible. I'm hoping to do this tomorrow where I can watch it and do it and talk about it. But what just happened here is we have a black chick talking about colorism who doesn't tell the complete story about being teased by black people herself as a kid who did not grow up to be beautiful because she didn't explain why and who told her she wasn't. Then we have the black and Latina chick behind her who I just discovered she was Latina and black. From Jersey, who said she wasn't even told that she was beautiful. Yet, not only that, was said she was ugly as a kid growing up. Meanwhile, the overweight white chick, this chick has no legs, clearly comes in arrogantly, tell y'all, I was raised to be beautiful. As long as I don't got no legs, I'm beautiful. As long as I don't gain any weight. That's her way of shitting on both of them. And here comes the transformer that says, well, I've been put in institutions because I've been trying to put my body through certain things to be you bitches. And here I am. Lo and behold. That's arrogance too. Ain't this something? Two people trumped them, two black women on the panel. Because they wanted to be the outcry, and the other two wanted to say fuck y'all without saying fuck y'all. It's all in body language, it's all in words. Pay attention. It's very detailed. It's very simple if you catch it.
And there are way too many women and men in the world who end up doing terrible things to themselves because they fall into this trap of thinking that you have to be this way.
Or you don't want to talk about the fact that there's people who want to be transformers, who have regretted doing it, who have actually tried to off themselves. I'm gonna get flagged now. Yeah, you don't want to talk about that? You don't want to talk about the ones who actually regret cutting their penises off? You don't want to regret those ones who actually went through the sex change operation, who actually just regretted it to the point where they can't go. Of course, you can't return back. You can't revert back to that. You know, the ones that actually regret doing that, you don't want to talk about that, though, do you? I wish we could have an honest conversation about them so they can really talk about those issues. Since we want to talk about the small percentage of people who go through the R word and the incest word as a form of means to do abortion, let's talk about the small percentage of people who actually do consider themselves transformers, who actually regret it and thought about killing themselves. Let's continue.
Aren't this way, then there's something inherently wrong at your core, which is nonsense. You're perfect the way you are. That's literally the core of it.
If you were perfect the way you are, you wouldn't be trying to people. Yeah, such arrogance and contradiction.
The way you are. And anyone who tries to tell you otherwise is feeding into this industry, and it's just they're not your friend.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, beauty in the industry is exploitative. But also we have to remember a lot of beauty standards are based around health, what's perceived as health, like symmetry, certain weights, things like that. So there is that side where we have to balance it, and I think we're seeing so much more representation, which I think is incredibly important.
Well, I just think that like if women really cared about beauty standards, like the obesity rate wouldn't be what it is. That's why the beauty standards. I mean, I just think like some
Black and Latino chick, obviously it's a chubby, pretty chick. I love you, baby. Pretty chick, chubby girl. But Pearl, you know, said something and of course the chubby girl next to her. What about you? Pearl is not fat. She's not skinny either. But she's in shape. She has a little, you know, you can tell she has a little bit of love handles. You know what I'm saying? Her shape isn't muscular and it's not all together as far as athletically built. But this girl plays volleyball. This girl has probably great stamina because she's plays the sport. You know, volleyball is a very active sport. You got to have great stamina and cardio and things of that nature. So, I mean, if you were to just sit back and just listen to what she had to say, because she just made an excellent point. Let's continue.
I just think that like if women really cared about beauty standards, like the obesity rate wouldn't be what it is. That's why the beauty standards. I mean, I just think like some people are more attractive, some people are less attractive, and it's just, you know, where would I rate myself 1 to 10?
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, I just think like some people are more
You are
attractive.
overweight, don't care about beauty standards.
Well, the complaint is that the beauty standard is thin, right?
Your
Yeah, but
standard?
obesity comes from men and women, though.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. But I'm saying if women really wanted to fit the beauty standard, they would be thin.
I know, I just, from my experience as well, growing up again in a mostly white neighborhood where I was always comparing myself to literally other people who have a different body.
So you grew up in a mostly white neighborhood, but you were told you were not beautiful? By who? White people? You were told you were too dark skinned? You were told that you had colorism from white people? Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. What are you telling us now? Now you revealed something that you should have revealed. So you're telling me you grew up around most white people, but you experienced colorism growing up. I don't think that's colorism. That's some other shit. It's called racism. So which one is it? Make up your mind, because now it sounds like you lying. Anyway.
But I was considered other or to something because it didn't conform to that body type. When that same body type became popular with Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians, who are different, right?
Who just became popular probably 10, 12 years ago. Can y'all cut the fuck out? Can y'all cut it the fuck out, please? Can we stop talking about Kim Kardashian like this is the end all be all? Like, yeah, this is the beauty standard of this era, but that was a beauty standard before 2008. That was a beauty standard before 2000. That was a beauty standard in 98. That was a beauty standard in 93. Like what? And she's not the end all be all of beauty standards. You know what the beauty standard of today is? Lizzo. Y'all don't want to admit that though, do you? Lizzo is the beauty standard of women. Lizzo, what's the other chick? Well, as far as big girls, the poster girl, the poster boy or poster girl of big girls is Lizzo. The first thing they come to mind is they think of Lizzo because she's the most popular one. The most popular one, I believe. That's it. So typically, that's the popular one.
Let's just say, our different skin color, right? And there's a lot of animosity, and a lot of Black communities of the fact that when it was on Black skin, it was an issue, but when it was on Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians, it was $1 billion business. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Our time together has almost come to an end.
She sat here and blamed Kim Kardashian for, well, I can't believe this shit. Said nothing about her mother, said nothing about her family, nothing about her father. Kim Kardashian.
We sort of started talking about feminism, big picture.
Oh,
We're
boy,
gonna
boy.
try again. Is feminism dead?
I
Yeah.
think feminism is alive, and I'm thankful to be a participant and believer of it.
I would say
That's all she had to say. The chick that's a former Islamic chick who they did the crazy laugh. That's all she could say. She knows nothing about Western civilization. Out of her own mouth, she admitted that. That's all she had to say.
As far as the West goes, I think that feminism has been cannibalized by other movements like leftism, like transgenderism.
So I think feminism is very much alive and well. I think it takes different forms depending on who you're talking to, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And as I've defined in the beginning, for me, I use it as a lens. So I don't think I'll ever stop having it in my arsenal, if you will. It makes for a good vice panel.
Okay, we're done. I appreciate everybody taking the time. I know this is, it got a little heated at times, but thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Can I stand up now? Oh my God.
Carol was the first one to get up. Like, let me out this motherfucker. This is weird.
Where we at?
I love that.
I think I am
That was wild. I mean, drama.
It was nerve-wracking. Some of the people on the panel were entirely consumed in misinformation.
I think that we women need to stick together and figure out what a woman is.
we're all loud.
Figure out what a woman is. The Black woman with the big weave. She's pretty too, by the way. With the big weave said this. That's why I said some people could be pretty but stupid. We need to figure out what a woman is. Figure out what a woman is. Was said by a woman. A Black one.
Stupid women.
Some people are soft.
I hate the idea that we're not supposed to be angry about it. It's okay to be angry about being oppressed.
It was like surprising to get done police on camera by a white woman. I don't know why everything has to become about me being a white person as if that somehow circumvents my opinions on issues.
The personal,
It don't, baby. I love you, Cindy.
political is personal.
We need to have more spaces where we have literal political ideologies of different backgrounds.
Feminism is always and has been a hate group.
Feminism isn't dead in
I love you, Pearl. Tell them hoes again. Let's rewind that.
Spaces where we have literal political ideologies of different backgrounds.
Feminism is always and has been a hate group.
Feminism isn't dead in America.
I think feminism is doing its best.
I'm ready.
She said it isn't dead in America. She knows nothing about America. Her words. I'm going to keep referencing that shit.
Right.
Oh, my God. Oh, I'm out, man. Pretty girls to the dance floor, ugly girls to the parking lot. Remember, as I've always said, and I will continue to say, after every live feed, male and female are the only genders. Man and woman is responsibility. Do not let them tell you otherwise. Huggie Pacino, go.